Li Ziqi is back, the OG China YouTuber who has done some of the most beautiful videos about the countryside of China. And after a 3.5-year hiatus, she is back to uploading and she has released 3 videos in the last 3 days or so. Now, there's really no denying how calm and relaxing watching her videos can be. But there's also no denying that she is probably the most successful Chinese propaganda. Yep, you heard that right. And I'm sorry if you're a fan of her, but the reality is that the Chinese countryside isn't as beautifully portrayed in her videos as you would think. And yeah, I mean, this is more like the reality of the Chinese countryside.
只要我还是个农民，我就天天在干违法的事儿，焚烧秸秆违法，砍自己种的树违法，在路边卖点自己种的丝瓜违法，自己养的猪牛卖给亲戚朋友家一点点违法。
So her videos really overly beautify China's rural areas. And if you ask anybody who has lived in the countryside or in those rural areas, they're not going to be agreeing with you, let's just say that, on her portrayal. Now, you got to remember, China, according to the former premier Li Keqiang, has about 600 million people who are still living below poverty line, which is about $5.50 a day, and that's based on the World Bank statistics. So that's about 43% of Chinese population. So in essence, Li Ziqi's perfect take on rural living in China is the best makeup for the CCP regime. Don't click off the video yet, let me explain. Because Li Ziqi's videos intentionally portray, or I guess you would say convey, the beauty of China, which has never really existed, it has given viewers a false sense of assumption that China looks like this everywhere they go into the countryside. Certainly, I'm not going to disagree that some parts of China is beautiful. You know, you have some of the best natural sceneries, as well as if you go to the area where she films, which is, I believe, near Sichuan, the mountains and the land and everything, it does look really nice. But people that are living in those areas aren't enjoying, all sorts of different activities like her every day. So just know that what she's portraying in her video is a very small portion of what is a very big area in China. Now, her coming back after a 3.5-year pause is drawing a lot of attention, and some of it is organic, of course, because people finally, you can see Li Ziqi again. Other parts, it seems very intentional. I've seen a lot of Chinese propaganda channels on Twitter or X, as well as other news being written about this. So there's a clear or intentional push to amplify her return. Especially, this is during a time where female influencers and celebrities in China are facing a lot of these censorships and blacklisting. Some of the stuff over, so-called tax evasion, others being censored online for much smaller things. So amid this very political and sensitive period, Li Ziqi's return seems really clean. Still, I'm not trying to discount her production quality or anything like that. I truly enjoyed her videos. They got me through college. And so just with the idea that this is not as simple as what we might see. Today, I hope to kind of answer the question about why she disappeared and then came back after 3.5 years, but also the story behind Li Ziqi and the sort of the politics of it. 10 years ago, Li Ziqi, or then her real name Li Jiajia, started to upload videos onto Chinese media platforms. And a year later, she started to gain more traction. One of the videos that went viral was seen by the platform CEO. It was about making peach wine. But at the time, she mentioned that her editing skill and production quality wasn't up to par with her creativity or what she wanted to do. And but still, she did this for about a year. And one of her videos, it was about a peach wine, which caught attention of a web platform CEO who then puts it on the main page, and then she went viral. And she also, in this process, had a lot of different other videos who went viral, like one about Lanzhou noodle soup. But a year later, so this is now in 2017, she signed a contract with a company called Willing, which is an MCN. Now, for those of you who have never heard of MCN before, it's a company called Multi-Channel Network. Essentially, it's a company that hosts multiple different creators all under this, almost like a management company, kind of like an agency, where they help you publish to different platforms, even on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, platforms that you cannot access in China because of the firewall. And the MCNs also help you produce very quality videos. So starting from 2017, Li Ziqi started to upload on YouTube. And one of the first videos, which actually is still my favorite video to this day, is her making a dress from grape skin. So the MCN would boost her production quality significantly. And this is the part where she's also lying. In a 2019 interview, she says that she only has 2 assistants and herself. So the entire team for this production is only 3 people, which, I know exactly how much work it takes to produce the level of content that you see on YouTube. And many others have also, spread information about how big her team is. Some say it's over 100 people. I don't think it's 100 plus people. It might be something like 20 or 30, but it's not a 3-person job. Now, of course, the reality is YouTube viewers loved her, and people that weren't so familiar with the Chinese soft propaganda or soft power approach from the CCP really loved her. And here I have to mention something, right? All of these Chinese channels that you see on YouTube, they're all done by MCNs, right? Li Ziqi, you have the Dianqi Xiaoge, or Where Will Mr. Mai Eat Today? All these channels, Chinese-speaking channels with English subs, are done by these MCNs. Before we talk about why, here's a sponsor segment from Puritang.
If there is one supplement you want to get incorporated into your diet, it's a good omega-3 supplement. It's the best all-around defender for your health. It reduces inflammation, cholesterol, improves eyesight, and reduces risk for heart problems, as well as helps with joint pain, among other benefits. Today, I want to introduce you to Puritang's green vegetables. Puritang gets their ingredients straight from the high mountains of South Korea, and the omega oils are extracted from purslane and perilla seeds. It's 100% vegan. Now, personally, I've been using Omega for about 9 years, close to 10 years now. I've recently switched to Puritang for about a few weeks now. Here's why. We mostly get our Omegas from fish, right? But that's not the best case for everyone, especially there's the aftertaste. It might not be suitable for vegetarians or vegan. So the most important part, right, we often forget is the actual concentration for Omegas. Puritang soft gels have a much higher content for Omega 3, 6, 7, and 9 than many of the brands out there. And some say that they notice there's less hair loss, more energy, lower cholesterol levels, and overall improved health. I think the best part for me is the lack of inflammation or the reduction of inflammation. Other brands also they use this high heat method to extract the oil, which in turn creates a lot of harmful byproducts. Puritang's green vegetable is done using a patented method of supercritical carbon dioxide low temperature extraction, so it preserves the natural properties and maintains high purities. First of its kind. So get it for yourself or as a gift to your loved ones ahead of the holiday season. Use my code DZ2023 and you can receive free shipping globally. Check out my link in the description and comment today.
MCNs in China have a really special relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. The reason is they help to promote Chinese content to the outside world, exporting their soft power through this sort of MCN relationship. And so it's very much encouraged by the Chinese government and encouraged for creators to sign up with these companies. But the downside of this is that you, in some degrees, give up part of your earnings or revenues to them in exchange for better production quality and handling of your publishing and everything else, promotions, etc. So that's exactly what happened with Li Ziqi. She had signed a contract with Willing, and Willing basically screwed her over. She had stopped uploading to her now 20 million plus subscriber YouTube channel, as well as all of her Chinese social media platforms at the, I believe this was summer of 2021. Yes, I think that's the date. But anyways, she has halted all of her activity since then, and she had to sue this Willing company for, essentially what happened was they took all of the majority stakes of her name, Li Ziqi. So the way the contract was signed, remember Li Ziqi at this time was still known as Li Jiajia. So her brand name, Li Ziqi, as well as everything attached to this whole sort of production, basically got signed away with that contract. So she didn't own any of it. Now, obviously, this is the big problem because she's the one who's in front of the camera. She's the one who's doing, at least to most people, she's the one that's running this whole show. But then, because of that contract, she had to halt activity and start lawsuits against Willing. So basically, she didn't upload for 3.5 years because for 2.5 years she was doing legal battles. Then she spent another year apparently learning new stuff. So what happens now? Well, it turns out Li Ziqi had officially changed her legal name from Li Jiajia to Li Ziqi. So now she is Li Ziqi in name and also in her brand. And she finally owns all of her rights again, and she started uploading again. Likely this time still with the help of a production crew. And here's where things get really complicated, okay? On the surface, the company she settled with willingly, because of, I guess, both parties reaching their agreement and settling their differences, okay? That's on the surface. But we gotta understand, anything in China goes, politics is still involved. For an MCN to be able to do something like this to such a large creator from China, they have some strong political backing. And they were able to do this, essentially not facing a much of the law until, of course, the lawsuit happened. And what gave them the audacity to do this? So by that same principle, you don't just give up this money-making brand called Li Ziqi voluntarily and then settle. What really confirmed my suspicion of all this is during her comeback in these few days, there's been a massive amount of promotion done by Chinese state media. She even got interviewed by Xinhua News Agency, which is China's state media, as well as CCTV, China's state television, and she has now been named ambassador to this rural agricultural program. Combined with, I mentioned, there's a lot of these posts on X as well as other areas, news articles, the entire state media machine in China running videos about her. There seems to be a deliberate attempt to make sure that everybody knows she is back, which again, is very special and above and beyond for a simple creator. Now, according to Weibo CEO who posted this but deleted it, that Li Ziqi, the production of her show has essentially been taken over by CCTV, the state media's documentary crew. And I would even go one step further to say that Li Ziqi is perhaps the biggest chess piece in China's attempt to export their soft power to... It's a narrative warfare in the sense that you want to shift the way people think when they talk about China. Do you want them to think that China is like Li Ziqi's portrayal or China like is David Zhang's portrayal? Obviously, you want the Li Ziqi one. But this doesn't discredit her from captivating the audience base with those beautifully taken shots and the stories and topics that she's able to express to the world. But again, I just want to mention that this is far from the reality of Chinese farmers. Again, I'll refer you to Aine's video on Chinese soft power propaganda. It's such a well-researched video, and her arguments in it make so much sense. So I'll link that here in the description, and you can check out why China places so much importance on creators like Li Ziqi, because there is such a soft power deficiency coming from the government. But long story short, it's essentially using traditional culture aspects hijacked for the purpose of trying to put makeup on the regime. And to me personally, whether I liked it or not, Li Ziqi's return carries a mission from China, from the CCP, to tell the China story well. And it really just has a different undertone now. And one last thing before we end, perhaps internet celebrities like Li Ziqi, they weren't cultivated by the government to begin with. But it was after they got certain levels of fame that the government took notice of them and started to promote them even more. So it's almost like at certain points, once you've shown that you have the talent, you have the potential for this, they will amplify you a lot. At the end of the day, it's really up to you whether you continue to watch her videos with, in the back of your mind, knowing what she does is probably propaganda, or you just think that, David, you have no idea what you're talking about. Either way, let me know in the comments what you think about this video. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, that's it for today. Until next time, bye-bye.